ya transfer fe ya di enkomo ahodo na Lawyer William Kusi communication team member edema NPP amanyoko ni nyina efa nanu adade koso wo Ghana mrahye bedwe fie mu asese mo kase de ya de se mrahye bedwa no atu omo ho se omunya entra sibioto federal notice no honsam nyeguso aye wa atwene mu se ebia na wotwe ye ba besi mu no na speaker asa frefre ne dom nyina mo asa ba be transfer fe omo ede o man no so tisusu no besi ebu o man afa no omo ebu afa no ne ade a na Lawyer William Kusi nso a kire na adwene efa aye speaker of parliament Yura Ava so na case for Babe the decision will take yemra Supreme Court ruling ne ba ye na mumu angina no so na tese o say omun court na fie na to the federal notice ni ade no Yura na to no bo ase a kire na adwene ade afa ne koso e wo Ghana yemra hye bedwe fie mu abusan yenko ne tie nsem odo a Yura Lawyer William Kusi ono so wo de to dwa efa speaker ensem no enso ehwo ye ba ye ba be transfer afi ye di ensem no enso ehwo enkomo.
In the first place, he hasn't got the luxury to determine that he agrees to an order of a court or not. He has no such power to do that.
Really?
Yes. The president has no power to say court can't mean to. He has no power to do that.
Nobody can disagree with the court.
Yes, but what does all to me there? He can't. You can disagree with the court. Every right. But say we need to me there. You don't have the power. The speaker can, the chief justice can, the president can. Nobody can. Because you can't separation of powers. So be a man Juma. My for separation of powers and person can be ya teacher Davi ya teacher to me na edibu man am at 3 different arms of government do be our need here enti eba emramu nchiri a edema court eba emra enhemra edema court eba emra shisha edema parliament. That is how the law is. And the speaker on his own cannot decide say Supreme Court can't mean to only right to say that he can be cited back for contempt of court if he disrespect the orders of the court. Send independent contempt of parliament. Some people also be contempt of court. Parliament me holy ministers to come to parliament to answer questions, and that is the power that has been given to them. They are executives. If they were independent, parliament will not have the power, so you hold them to parliament. So I'm saying that and the speaker was very smart in his decision. In fact, he wanted to create a middle way because of Obi or Adom, my patriotic. So he wanted to find a middle way to create a peaceful atmosphere. And he did that perfectly by making the be careful with the statement he made so that he doesn't sound partisan or say we'll take his sides. What do I say? And not say and into agent in parliament awaiting whether his consultation or whatever. That is what I'm coaching Major Khan.
Exactly. Consultation.
And I think he did it perfectly.
Okay.
He did it perfectly. Afterwards, I'm sure that given the nature of business government has, they might sit down in Georgia and come back within the shortest possible time.
But do you think the Supreme Court matter and be a Attorney General or no is party to the suit that for mark in the court, or not the need back properly invoking the jurisdiction, because the argument is that after you mark in the Supreme Court, it didn't invoke the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court properly. That's a wrong procedure, that's a wrong, but what the lawyers are saying. It is the High Court, not because I mark in the court, not the court Supreme Court, but I feel that the Attorney General invoking the jurisdiction properly of the Supreme Court by saying that Supreme Court interpret it to the whole country. 97 Sibia etie. For you, do you think that indeed Afenyoman in terms of procedure violate here?
It is the Supreme Court that has to say. So the process court. Now court on his own among the court has created itself with jurisdiction. Or orders, whether it is wrong or right, you have to follow till it is set aside. As every law, that is the law. And as long as the Supreme Court did not throw away the application ab initio, no TA, no more orders needed. That order is binding, whether procedure it was wrong or right. So it is otherwise determined by the court.
But in your view, was it wrong for the court to have accepted clothing with that jurisdiction? About like a high court or a proper forum for that conversation?
I don't think it is wrong because the original suit was for interpretation of the provision of
the original suit, was to stay the speaker's hand on the vacation of time. No, fair mark in the end.
Check your file.
Make a fair mark in the end. Before the speaker gave the ruling,
he was already in court. Unim. He had issued a process in court seeking an interpretation. And Sana Parliament conveyor speaker making ruling. So he quickly went back to the court with an application ex parte, praying the court to stay the execution of the orders by the speaker till his application is heard. And if you read the ruling of the Supreme Court, they stayed and requested that other side should also file their side of the issue to enable them determine the matter. Right. So before that, never court that as a substantive matter. This was an interlocutory application. Yeah. Without a substantive matter, you can't send an interlocutory application to the court. He had already filed the process, seeking interpretation. And Haruna raised the issue, you know. And speaker, who said no more issue of whether or not the speaker has been served with the process or not? Yes. And or the interlocutory application, yes, stay. Determine the substantive matter and answer. So if marking indeed went for interpretation of a section of the Constitution, that is exclusively the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Right.
The Muslim NPP Koti and Lawyer William Kusi, our communication team member, Dema NPP Amanyukono, Nene and Echogu, and yet Transna Fee, Yadi and Seminole and so and common.
Okay. So, I didn't say buy no. Na me nwanwa esanso ahudwiri because Supreme Court oman obi biara oman bia including abansuma na gbagwan obi ehemra na say no one is above the law. It is a ya court ahye wo tumi na wo ade na wo gina utumi so ka say we declare obi seat vacant no. Yeah. Enye right. Eti monko na monko twe asam ne nsa na yetwesa de na esi enya kɔ na ekoye chi to the say the name city na ye den na speaker of parliament sa betra ka say eye watu asam na hyeda utu ahyeda de nhwemu biem na wo a wo koye yeah de be nhwemu na Supreme Court aka say o court ba tan no court mu last enya peace court na enya criminal court eye Supreme Court court achivu court na chi obi eni ho court mu osono nti eda na court mu osono ama order say ko na ko change asam na okan na uni sa atumi no a osase ya suspend ya don na sa bamba be na ya ko esa sese no obaso o chese sese ni tumi kura nti de open no ye em nya ade but ensese ko basa mo na mo se asam do man no enema bebre na ko achewa e o se ye ka ho asam so what I say enema bebre pe e o se mo ko transfer mo gituma na mo di bank ne ye hwede ye ni no afi mo sa ko sete parliament house on the state of or the controversies and obi anam nchen here corner. How do we get there as a country? Tell me hunu say asam na owura no ka no abamba ben minim say ni die no on person do ma court no so person check court so omo ye court no so so speaker of parliament o chuti ni yomu ene bete pekwa o check Supreme Court ase no one is above Supreme Court enti die o and dem fi say so person sundwe ba pa onya sa ne manema bi na wa hyase eye no because we say NPP for no so ba na omo so ene ye so ha na ye tienti no ekwan bi ase ba betra wa ankanya na am de si parliament house on part 2 na nke sa be si temi fi say eru abamba be the way I no carry no na nka mepe nso na sa se ne dwumadi say ya o so pejality no hwe ne mamu ya sa de a on free akonwa so enko no na wakwa the worst ever Speaker of Parliament. I say because
focus on Mampenyi be worst ever president.
And there's so much in it. Any idea? Because will be a worse someone to brofo no montia. No ma couple brofo na se kire. Enti no basa cause akunwa na esuo no. Speaker of Parliament akunwa no. Omo abetra so ko nyina yetiti. Me kai ko 4 time. And I'm father runs as civilian government and our government a 12 man no speaker no her friend of justice DF Anna no free home no o man pani ko for by o man pani ko for breso first speaker of parliament on so by na friend no Peter Ala Ajeti
Peter Ala Ajeti
o free home no na ewura Sechina Sechi Hughes call Sechi Hughes on so by and on no free or coin no ọba bi ba Joyce Bamfo after Kofoko Atames Joyce Bamfo by ana Joyce Bamfo ba ko no Jomama ba na Joe Ajahu ba Joe Ajahu ba no ana Professor Makwe Ironkwe ono so ba enti omo abako nyina hwompa degree na hwe sede omo si eye omo niama tie ko ba dan na asa wo de ena anko no abo bibi to ohene bi no o de bibi atua na pampam ni sa na niama no mi hunu de papa na peso o kira nkasa
no so promote your culture no
ayo so promote culture ade bia ye ne nanso do em de ankan shada me de me shada ni problem with that but it shouldn't be like I say wo do open na ye de opre bia which ensesa e basa Ghana we court we lawyer na wo court na mo yi bi no ndugo ma pampam no friends hwan so wa fa bi egu pampam e be pam wa fa bi egu pampam e be pam eti ba bia wo ne orders a didi djuma en ne ade tie be speaker of parliament o ma ne manu na boso mienu na akiri ya aka no yentu nkoto aban na sundwem na do ba wianwe kantema songu kan aban enya tu ya number 1 wadi first number 2 number 3 number 3 obi an konkoda ye ma meso somoso ha ye nya time medi semhu bia ya tro wa wi no wa wi a no akokoda di mama janye tobe bia so enti sana no esitie na bosumienu ya kai no ne bosumienu kakra kai ne ntumi man niam mu enye fan na anye sei na ade be wini tumi sei sansa ya party 2% kwa bia so wo ye niam bi na omutumbe wuru ha emfa mboa emba
right abusia fa comment in your comment section as like share na foforo eso enye bi enhwe yakram